Hello everyone, let us discuss about developing scientific attitude in a unit 5.2. So here we'll be discussing about what is a scientific attitude and how we can go about developing it in our students. So before understanding how we can develop that particular scientific attitude in our students, let us understand what is an attitude. So, an attitude is a condition of mind that brings in imagination and emotional states which are outcome of our previous experiences. And we all know that our attitude that we possess is because of the previous experiences that we have gone through. And the same can be also observed in any classroom too, because in every classroom there will be students who will have a different attitude. For that matter, every individual you meet will have a different attitude, and that development of that attitude is because of the previous experiences the person has gone through. So it is something which is being nurtured into them, or they have learned, or something which is a part of them just because of the experiences that they have gone through. So it is a condition of mind, and it somewhat relates to the imagination and emotional status of that individual too. It is the sum total of men's inclinations and feelings, prejudices and biases, preconceived notions, ideas, threats, and convictions about any specific topic. Okay, an individual's attitude. Say, suppose if you do not like any person or any individual, uh, without a person whom you do not know before, you don't know that person, and how would you meet that individual? You would meet that particular individual wholeheartedly, isn't it? But say suppose you have something about him or her, or he or she may be a person whom you know before or may not know as well. But if you have some preconceived notions about that individual, or some prejudices, or maybe some biases, or some bad feelings toward that person, ultimately it will affect the way you would deal with that person. So basically it comes and gathers around this concept of attitude. So it is basically what are your feelings, what are your notions, what are the prejudices or biases, or what are your threats and convictions related to that person. Now, so far we have discussed about what an attitude is, or generally like of a, towards a person. Now, same thing if we could apply to a subject, what it will be. So, according to NSSE, that is National Society of the Study of Education, says that scientific attitudes can be defined as open-mindedness, a desire for accurate knowledge, and the expectation that the solution of the problem will come through the use of verified knowledge. So, a person who believes or who has or possesses scientific attitude would have one of these, all these characteristics like that of open-mindedness. A person needs to be open-minded in order for him or her to be scientifically inclined, isn't it? So, a desire for accurate knowledge, a person who possesses scientific attitude would always strive for a knowledge which is accurate. A person with scientific attitude would always believe that in order to solve any problem, he or she can rely on a verified set of knowledge instead of any kind of superstition. So, that's what NSSE, that is National Society of Study of Education, believes scientific attitude is. Now, moving ahead, we also need to discuss about characteristics of a person who possesses scientific attitude. So here we'll be discussing how to identify how to identify a person who possesses scientific attitude. So as science teachers, we deal with a number of students in the classroom, and we also know that not all students would have the same level of scientific attitude in them. And as we know that attitude is something which develops based on the previous experiences, so it means that each student would have gone through different experiences in their lifetime, wherein they developed a particular attitude towards a subject. Say, suppose in the previous school or the previous standards, if the student could not develop that liking towards the subject of science, then the child would have preconceived notions about that particular subject, would have would be feeling threatening, or would feel frightened about that particular subject. If we even think of mathematics, it is the same thing. Many people are scared about this of the subject of mathematics because They did not get good teachers in the school who could develop in them that attitude or that love for that particular subject. So also is for science. There are various students who do not like science because they have that preconceived notion that it is a very vast subject, lot of theory, and you need to mug up everything, you need to know each and every aspect in that so thoroughly and all that. So there are various preconceived notions or prejudices that many students do have, and they do not choose to take this particular field of science, okay, which denies them of knowing many things which are really interesting and helpful for an individual to make our lives better, even for the people around us. So it is important that as teachers we identify such students in the class who has scientific attitude, and also identify those who are lacking it in order for us to develop that attitude in them. So how would you identify this particular quality in your students is by knowing what are the characteristics a person of scientific attitude would possess. Moving ahead, let us see the first characteristic. First characteristic says that a person with scientific attitude would have open-mindedness or would be an open-minded individual. A person who looks at any problem open-mindedly without uh, narrowing his or her thinking towards a particular concept. So when you study something, when you study any concept in science for that matter, when you come across any puzzling situation or a discrepant event, you need to be open-minded, because science is not something which is confined to those words or whatever that is written in the textbook, but science is everywhere. So a person with open-mindedness will be able to identify that feature or that characteristic of this subject, and will be able to do good and better for the people around him and her, and also for the discipline. So it's very important that you need that open-mindedness in you, and a person with scientific attitude or who possesses scientific attitude will have this particular characteristic. Objectivity. Now when we talk about objectivity, it is being objective about a particular task, it is being logical about a particular task. Now opposite to objectivity is subjectivity. Now subjectivity is something which believes that um, for for a particular thing. Now do not confuse objectivity with something that is rigid. It is not like looking at only one direction of it. Here objectivity means thinking about a particular event or thinking about a particular consequence logically, objectively looking at it, considering what can be the reason behind it, a logical thinking behind it, which means objectivity. Now if a person is subjective, would look for various options which might cause this particular event to occur, but would not rather would not think about what can be the logical reason or what exactly is the reason behind that particular event. So a person with objectivity will be able to do that. Now freedom from belief in superstitions. Isn't it? Are something which doesn't go well with science, isn't it? There are many people, even famous people, whom we admire or whom we look up to, do follow few superstitions, and there are various examples of many people doing that. But then there are various definitions of superstition as well. There are various ways by which it is defined. But a person who wants to develop this particular attitude in him or as a teacher, if you want to inculcate this attitude in your students, you need to be very sure that they are free from the beliefs in superstition. So if you believe in superstition, that means you're moving or diverting from that logical reasoning or logical understanding of an event. Instead, you believe in something which is not logically true or acceptable by science, isn't it? So freedom from superstition is very, very important. Now the next point is belief in cause and effect relationship. Now when we talk about belief in cause and effect relationship, it means that for every event that occurs, that there has to be a cause behind it. If there is an effect, there is cause, and if there is a cause, there has to be an effect. So whatever that we see around us is nothing but cause and effect relationship. Whatever it is, if you see that an event is occurring, now say suppose if you take an example of medical field, if you see some symptoms in an individual, Okay, we just cannot be superstitious and believe that array because of something else that is happening, or and instead of looking for a logical reason or the cause behind it, you look for the you be superstitious and look for other reasons which might cause it. But in a way, you are not being logical. In a way, you are not going to the root cause of it and finding out what exactly is wrong with the person, which is causing this particular effect. So with effect, it is cause. So every scientific individual who has a scientific attitude, okay, would know that cause and effect relationship do exist, and some of the cause and effect relationships are still yet to be discovered by the scientists and many of us, because whatever that we know even till today is not even 1% of the science that we experience or we are a part of. Okay, so that belief is very, very important. Accuracy and truthfulness in reporting observation. Now, the morality, your truthfulness, your accuracy plays a very important role. A person with a great scientific attitude would not alter, would not manipulate the observations he or she would make during a project, during an assignment, or during a research, because doing that denies an individual of that scientific attitude, because accuracy and truthfulness is something which is required in an individual to become to become a person with scientific attitude. Now, so far we have seen what is an attitude in general. We have also seen what is a scientific attitude by according to NSSE. We also saw some of its characteristics like open-mindedness, objectivity, freedom from belief in superstitions, then belief in cause and effect relationship, and accuracy and truthfulness in reporting observations. So in the next lecture, we would be discussing about what are the techniques by which you can develop scientific attitude among your students, and what are the ways or the strategies that you can make use of in order to develop this scientific attitude. Thank you.